Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to your second to last match of the GEST IDC November. This is the bronze match. This is between, well, frankly, two teams that I think have gotten farther in this GEST than they've ever done so before. For First Esports, it is their very first GEST IDC of any kind, and this tournament has been running for a good 7 or 8 months now at least. It might even be 9. It's been going on for a while. First Esports in their first appearance, well, fittingly, I suppose, with the name, they actually make it all the way to the Final Four. They just couldn't quite handle Mineski. They went for something a little bit different. They went for the Drow Ranger, 5 ranged heroes, but it was just the Woot show. His Earthshaker has impressed time and again. It was too much. He, as well as RR, have just been playing spectacular support. RR, of course, on that Shadow Demon. Mineski looking very strong. They move on to your grand finals. On the other side, we have, of course, First Esports, a Thai team, a team from Thailand. So for those of you who are from Thailand, you have a horse to root for in this race. Over on the side of SVR.es, we have, well, a country that hasn't really had much success in Dota 2, or in Dota recently anyway. We have SVR.es. This is a team that I think most notably ran a Riki Wisp combo. So we quickly look at the brackets. They were playing Pacific Emacs. It was kind of a crazy match. There was a lot of disconnects, a lot of lag spikes, a lot of back and forth plays in the game. What ended up happening was Biabus, the star player for Emacs, actually disconnected, had a fatal error, and couldn't reconnect. In the end, they dropped him, but Pacific Emacs managed to win that game 4v5. So it will be Emacs, the 3-time defending champions, and Mineski in the grand finals. But before we get to the grand finals, we have the bronze match, the third, fourth place match between this team from Cambodia, SVR.es, SVR.es, and this team from Thailand in First Esports. For both of them, this is still a great accomplishment to come here, and obviously they would love to finish in third place if possible. I believe the prize money is a bit better. So we're now into the draft. Let's talk a little bit about... Oh, okay, I do have Sound of Warcraft 3. Just wanted to make sure. Let's talk a little bit about this match, about the kind of picks we're seeing. SVR.es, when they played against Emacs, they went with a Faceless Void. I know they had an Axe. They had some big team fight, a lot of lockdown, but it seemed like their lanes were not the strongest, just based on the picks. They picked the Axe as sort of a counter to Templar Assassin, but this time around, because Emacs had a TA, but this time around they get the Templar Assassin for themselves. Now, obviously, Battle Hunger is great against TA. It removes Refraction very quickly if it's not debuffed, if you don't get a creep last hit or deny. In practice, it doesn't always work out that way. We'll see if First Esports have the Axe in mind. First Esports, I like how they've drafted a bit better than what we saw out of them. It's not quite as gimmicky. They've gone for the Dragon Knight, the Puck. The last match, as I was mentioning very briefly at the start of this cast, they went for a Drow Ranger and 4 ranged heroes. I think it was Puck, Keeper of the Light, Jakiro, and somebody else. It wasn't really a very balanced composition. They didn't have much team fight. They didn't really have... It was all about the Puck, and he got a late Blink Dagger. The Drow Ranger was left 1v1 versus a Magnetar. Unfortunately, Bimbo or Jay had a haste turn, and he found a first blood using that in the 1v1 matchup versus TA or versus Drow. And speaking of that, speaking of heroes, speaking of Magnetar, he is available. He's not banned. Either team could look to take him. SVR.es, they are going to go for a Naix, for a Life Stealer. I love this. This is something a little bit different. And this is a great hero to try and deal with Dragon Knight. Sure, Dragon Knight's got high armor. And for anyone who doesn't know, Feast, which is that passive ability that Lifestealer has that steals a percentage of your HP, it is actually physical damage. So if it says it will steal 5%, it doesn't actually do that because there's armor reduction. So it does steal 5%, but then that's reduced by armor. So you might steal a bit less. The damage won't be as significant. And that, thus, DK sort of counters Lifestealer, but Lifestealer is also just a great natural counter to these tanky carries. And ldDOTA wants out, so let me go let her out of the room. That damn cat. She's my boss, guys. I'm sorry. I gotta listen to her. The bronze match, I just saw someone ask this. This is actually best out of 1. This is a single elimination best out of 1 match. It will be 1 game to decide who's actually going to be your third place team for this edition of GST. The grand finals, that is best out of 3. So we are in for a treat. We get to see Mineski versus Emacs at least 2 games. Hopefully it goes the distance. Hopefully it goes 3 games. But this match, this one is best out of 1. So lay all your cards on the table. Do whatever it takes to secure that third place finish, to get a little bit more money. And actually just, you know, a little bit of pride as well. This one, it's sort of about preparing yourself for future events. It would feel nice for either of these teams to finish with a win, I am sure. So with all that being said, the Lifestealer pick, I like this combo with the Templar Assassin. The one thing they lack, though, is stuns, and that is one thing First Esports have a lot of. They've got the Dream Coil, they've got the Dragon Tail, the Ice Path, adds a Silence as well. The Blink, the Waiting Rift from Puck will be annoying. And you gotta, the weakness of this Lifestealer pick, how do you actually keep Puck out of lane? You have Disruption, you have Soul Catcher, and Open Wounds, but you don't have a stun. So even if he mistimes his phase shift, he can always just orb away. So that's the one weakness I see for SVR with this draft. TA will do fine against DK mid, should actually be able to win that 1v1 matchup, at least out CS him a little bit, and certainly is going to have an easier time of it. DK can do a lot of battle crowing, he'll do okay, he's not going to suffer. But that's the real weakness, is they don't have a way to keep Puck out of lane right now. So I'm wondering if SVR.es, maybe they'll go back for another strong, stunning type support. Speaking of, well, heroes that are getting banned out right now, there are quite a few available. There's a Sven, there's a Lina, there's a Magnetar. None of these heroes have been banned. Earthshaker did go in the first set of bans. Both teams, it seems SVR.es a little bit more worried about the carries from First Esports, which I find interesting since they already have the Dragon Knight, they already have Puck. These are two farmers. They could fit one more in. You expect to see something combo with the Twin-Headed Dragon. But going for a hard carry probably wouldn't be ideal. If I'm First Esports, I go for something a little bit more mid-game. We've already got tons of lockdown, tons of teamfight. You don't really want to go late against a dual core strategy with a TA and a Lifestealer, unless you're ahead. You want to be ahead at that point in the game. And the way to do it is, well, to get something like Enigma. This is a very smart choice. Obviously, Rage is a very powerful ability against all these stuns because you can't be stunned. But when you have Black Hole, it doesn't matter if he rages. At the same time, SVR.es, they snap up a Rubik. Actually, they picked it up before the Enigma, and still First Esports went into the Enigma. So Black Holes can be still in this game. They now sort of bolster up the lineup with another single target kind of hero. They go for the Vengeful Spirit. Obviously, you can swap to disable that Black Hole, and then First Esports get one of the most annoying heroes in Dota, a hero that has been nerfed to a certain extent. The base damage, I think, was reduced. I want to say it was by 16. It might have been 12, but it was a lot. So she's not as strong in the lane. She's still the same old annoying Naga with that 1 minute Song of the Siren at level 16, the Riptide to split push, the net to go through BKBs. They have a couple of ways to deal with Lifestealer, and on the other side of the table, SVR.es have a couple of ways to deal with the Black Hole. SVR.es, they don't scale as well into the late game. They do have the dual core carries, but they don't have any team fight at all, except whatever the Rubik is able to get his hands on. This is a single target ganking kind of lineup, so they are going to have to play aggressively, not necessarily in the lanes, but definitely by that 5 to 10 minute mark. If they're not starting to find some kills or massively out-farming First Esports, they are going to be in a bit of trouble. So let's introduce the players. With all that being said, it is the Cambodian upstarts, SVR.es, the star. He's their solo mid player, and he has been a star at points of this tournament. To get here, these guys, they've had a pretty interesting run through the tournament. Emax was the stiffest opponent they had to face, but he'll be going solo mid as the Rubik. On the Lanaya, on that Templar Assassin, we have E, quite a short and sweet name, Nakcam on the Lifestealer, Koch, going to be playing the Shadow Demon, and last but not least, it is B, that'll be their support. Is this an offlane TA? Did she just get caught by 5 enemy heroes? She did. This is bad news. Oh, even with the boots, that's not going to help you here. One more auto attack. TA walks right into the waiting arms of First Esports, and they collect a delicious free first blood. Speaking of First Esports, Naga Siren going to be played by WT. JS on the Jakiro. SKZ handling that Enigma. Has observers and sentries. Maybe they were anticipating an aggressive jungle, an aggressive duel or tri-lane, but that's not going to be the case. So he'll have an easy time of it. He'll be getting a lot of levels, a lot of farm in this lane. New on the Dragon Knight. And last but not least, it is JJJ on the Puck. That was... I wonder why the TA is down here. I think they might have been expecting an offensive tri-lane from First Esports, because otherwise there's no reason to put TA here. She's not going to lane well against the Puck, Jakiro plus Enigma. They must have expected Jakiro, Naga... Or Puck, Jakiro, and Enigma. I mean, Naga, Jakiro, and Enigma. The only reason to put the TA here is if you expected it to be a 1v1 matchup against the Puck. Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense. So clearly they miscalculated with the lanes. Will they make a swap? It doesn't look like it. Does have the boots first. Either that or they just have something very odd planned, because TA is a hero that doesn't... She's not really a great support. I mean, I guess you get the traps for vision, but that's theory crafting to the max. That is not... It's not a big AoE stun. It's not a real buff for your carry. It is a hero that needs levels, needs farm. So they've miscalculated. How badly will this hurt them? We'll find out. She's pretty survivable. Remember, Enigma's got sentries. He may not come for her right now, but he can come for her sometime in the next 3 to 4 minutes. And once he comes once, if they get a kill, the tower's going to drop on him. They have Naga, Jakiro, and Enigma. It's a lot of pushing power in this tri-lane. Or pseudo-tri-lane, I should be calling it. And there's nothing that TA can do to stop a push. That's another one of her weaknesses in the offlane. We saw some weird stuff in DreamHack. I think one of the oddest things was a suicide lane Faceless Void. Granted, it's Dota 2. Granted, it's European Dota, but that was very strange. But even the Faceless Void makes more sense than an offlane TA, because at least the Void has a Chronosphere. He still has a big AoE teamfight ability that, you simply by getting that off, you can make a difference. It still felt a little awkward, but it made more sense than this. This, I'm baffled by. So anyway, enough of me ranting about that. I think I've given you guys my 2 cents on that one. The other lanes, DK versus Rubik, should be a pretty even matchup. Rubik can't really harass DK at all. He can try, but with that 7 armor, good luck actually chewing through and doing anything significant. As far as our other lanes go, Lifestealer going to get free farm in the top lane, right? Might go for a very fast hand of Midas. Lifestealer doesn't really farm that well in the mid game, so one of the ways to prevent that, because he doesn't have any AoE, he doesn't have any flash farming, so one of the ways to make up for that is just to do things like rush a hand of Midas, and now we see what Puck is up to. He is doing, well, pretty much what we expected, what we've seen before. The cheeky little jungling tricks, but in comes an Angry Bee, and JJJ's in a bit of trouble. Can they telekinesis him up? They will at the exact wrong moment, because Puck has just orbed away and found himself a delicious regen rune. Dragon Knight says, yes, Puck, you may have it, even though, damn it, why'd you have to go get caught? I really wanted that for myself. So, nonetheless, Puck dodges a bullet there. A lot of waste of time from these supports. And Puck's still level 1. That's the one concern. Until you hit level 2, it's a little bit more dangerous in lane. You can still get away with your orb, but you have to be wary of the Vengeful Spirit. That's the nice thing about this final pick from SVR, is with Shadow Demon and Lifestealer, they couldn't do anything with that dual lane to Puck. But with the Magic Missile being here, as long as she's level 1, she's never going to be able to phase shift dodge a Magic Missile, so she has to pretty much stay at her tower until the creep wave gets there. Now, it looks like it will be. There's going to be a big wave. This will get her level 2. Then she can start to enter the lane a little bit. Has to be careful overall, though.
Players' forces are under attack.
But that Venge pick works on more levels than just giving you a way to try and cancel Black Hole. It does offer you a way to kind of limit the Puck's effectiveness in the laning stage. The Star taking some harass, but giving it back well, too. Let's actually look at creep scores. Unfortunately, I don't get the easy access to them because I'm not in the right observer slot. WT will net onto the TA. Getting a surprising amount of levels and experience. I really don't think she should be with net, with all this AoE. But the Enigma has not left the jungle yet. He is just farming as quickly as possible. And he's decided that his farm is more important than shutting down the TA. We'll see if that's a mistake later on. I personally feel maybe they should have just gone for a kill there, but they already got the first blood, so I suppose there's no big rush. It's just a standard kill, nothing too special off the bat. Lifestealer is going to be rushing treads. He is not going for the quick hand of Midas. Naga already up to 900 gold. Probably going to go for maybe that Reign of Aquila. Oh, here they go, bottom lane. Lanaya cannot meld while she's netted up. They still see her. They need... Oh, the net wears off right at that moment. You can meld, but they still have vision, but the net wears off just as the killing blow is about to come out. As that net does reveal invisible units. Doesn't matter, though. The Riptide. Oh, poor TA. Really never had a chance. And this is something that we can see this happen a lot more this game. It's not just a one-time thing. It's going to continue to happen. Haster was picked up by the Star, unless they make an adjustment. If they do, then maybe. Whereas, if you look at Puck, he's not going to die. He's actually behind on levels to the TA. And that's a little surprising, but it tells you that SVR have done a better job of controlling the lane so far. They've kept the creeps back. Well, on the bottom side of the map, we do have SVR going for an early smoke gank. They want this Enigma, and he's going to be able to get away just out of range. Both teams, a lot of ganks being attempted, but most of them not succeeding. We've seen now twice from SVR. They tried to gank Puck over here earlier. That failed. Then they tried to go up the river, and that failed too. Now they want to go on Puck, but realistically, how are you going to kill him? He's always just going to be able to orb away if you get too aggressive. TA is actually farming. This is... Oh, this is trouble for Kosh. He's going to disrupt. He's going to try to run, but with the Malefice done, I think this should be the kill. There's your Malefice. It is. Is it level 3 or level 2? It should be. Oh, it looks like it's only level 2. He went for the level 3 demonic conversions. Doesn't get that extra mini stun. Isn't able to secure the kill as a result. I really think going for the 3rd point Malefice early is the better play because you can also be ganking TA. This hero should be dying time and again. They do have Sentry Ward. Sentry Ward will be dropped. There's your Malefice stun. And this should be... Okay, he does have the double Malefice. Never mind that. Just didn't have enough. There you go. Hits level 6. Kind of hard to see those animations. Not that distinctive. But that's pretty big. They get another kill in the TA. And with Enigma, they could look to push. Although because he's low, he's going to choose to go back to base. Dragon Knight continues to farm pretty much uncontested mid. TA is a tough matchup. Not unbearable, but a little bit more difficult. Rubik, DK doesn't really care. He's not using his auto tech to last hit too often. He's got a Quelling Blade anyway, so Fade Bolt's not going to limit your ability to farm, and then you just spam Flame Breath. As far as farm goes, Lifestealer is leading the charts by quite a bit. Wow, 46 CS already. He is really far ahead. DK 28, Naga 34. I called it a dual carry lineup on the Scourge side, but the way they're playing the TA, she's probably not going to be much of a carry this game. Although, as I say that, they do go in bottom. They force out an early Song of the Siren. And that's a small victory in and of itself. It's got a 3-minute cooldown now. It gets a 2-minute cooldown once that Naga gets the 2nd skill point at level 11. And then, finally, once you're level 16, it gets... the 1-minute cooldown. That's where the Naga Siren becomes really annoying. Then you can just throw your ult out willy-nilly and not care. But right now, it's a big investment. It's a big cost not to have it. First Esports, despite being up 3 kills, it actually feels like they're maybe in a little bit of trouble. Their carries are not farming nearly as well as the Lifestealer, who's already up to... has a Midas after his treads. This is a Lifestealer that went back for a Midas after completing power treads and still has it at 8 minutes. 8 minutes is a pretty good time just to rush it. If you're just rushing a Midas, that's pretty good. He might have even had 30 seconds before then or so. Either way, that's a lot of farm. And DK is the better late game carry. He's got that 600 range, he's got the slow and the splash, but... he's got to get there. In the mid game, it will be Lifestealer's king, especially with this kind of a lead. The net is going to go out onto VS, holding her in position. The back row Pyre, though, not doing enough damage. Now the Wave of Terror comes out. In comes a hasted Rubik. Wants a kill. On to Naga they go. SVR.es applying some serious aggression. TA tanking the tower. Needs refraction or she will fall. Maybe not. Levels up. And the level up gave her just enough HP to survive, it looks like. Now able to sow behind the tower. Rubik going to tank it for on the way out. SVR.es showing some great movement around the map. Meanwhile, on the top lane, they go on to Lifestealer, but this is a very difficult kill. Open wounds on the DK and running. DK flapping those wings mightily, trying to keep up, and not able to do so.
Players' forces are under attack.
And it looks like our Vengeful Spirit has gone for a single point in Commander. I love this choice early on. Now with the Reign of Basilius and the Commander, it just gives your creeps a little bit of extra damage. You can push. The tower is going to be denied bottom, I think. Eidolons, are they going to deny it? Are they going to deny it? They don't deny the tower. Oh, some miss micro there. But Black Hole on everyone. Where's the follow-up damage? Where is it? They need it. Rubik, is he going to steal that Black Hole? I don't think he did. I think it must have been on cooldown, not able to steal the Black Hole. Unless I missed him casting it earlier, but now onto the Naga Siren. They go chasing her. Naga about to get picked up. Boy, she wants that sleep. Was she actually trying to cast it? It might have just been off cooldown. Endless aggression. I cannot believe an offlane TA is working this well for SVR.es, but by golly, it is. Score now 5-3. Lifestealer could not be ganked top. Now they pressure bottom. They sent 3-4 heroes to try and deal with the mess created on that top lane by the Lifestealer, and in trying to shut him down, they opened up the attack pathway for SVR.es. The Cambodian boys looking pretty good here. Remember, this is best out of 1. They are fighting for that bronze medal right now. They want a place in the money, in the medals. Get that bronze. It's pretty. Well, they're looking good if that's their goal. Dragon Knight, no item progression for him. Just sitting on the boots, the bottle. Sure, you can bottle Crow. Sure, you're getting some levels. You got to get some damage items, because your Naga just officially got shut down. 35 CS in a safe lane. That is not going to cut it. In fact, the TA has more CS. That should not happen. This all goes back to the laning stage where Enigma chose just to jungle. Didn't come to help too much. Oh, did he actually stay? He stole Black Hole! He actually stole Black Hole. Wow. Enigma had not cast a single spell since that team fight, which seemed like an eternity ago in the bottom lane. Oy, oy, oy. That is a big mistake. That is something that, well, he's not going to make the same mistake twice. Hopefully he realizes that Black Hole was stolen. At least that way he can tell his team. But this is what we were discussing in the draft, is SVR.es don't have team fight, but they have Rubik. If he steals big spells, suddenly they do. Middle lane, the push is starting to come in. There's your wave of terror to give some vision. Oh, here we go. On to Jakiro. Jakiro gets magic missiled, and there's an early medallion up on somebody. Who's picked it up? It's the Vengeful Spirit. What a choice from him. Rubik getting caught, has a Black Hole, will unload it, but immediately gets canceled. Oh, that was not the Black Hole that he was hoping for. I think it was the Malefice. It was SKZ who gave away the Black Hole, then bailed out his team by stealing already the Blink Dagger up on TA, but the trap has been sprung. She's netted up. She's held in position. Where are those Sentry Wards? They got to get some vision of her, or she's just going to go inside Meld. She is inside Meld, but unfortunately, she's down to 5 HP. Got to refract, got to blink, got to do something to get the hell out of there. She blinks north, and then the Eidolon's cut off her retreat path. Oh, man, this is a topsy-turvy game. This one, we may be in for the long haul. Although, bear in mind, they are fighting 4v5. Everybody on first Esports is grouping up as 5-man. They're going for 5-man Dota. That is the strength of their lineup. But what they're ignoring is the free farm lifestealer, who's now going for an armlet of Mordigion. He's got the Helm of Iron Will up. He's going to have it relatively soon. The tower will fall mid, or maybe not. The glyph is thrown out. Do they actually try and fight this? I don't think they can. The sleep gets popped, but the TP canceled. So now, that's a lot of heroes to catch. But who can they actually bring down? Net is not even cast. Now the medallion going the other way. Look how fast that Naga Siren drops. She's got a Vanguard. It doesn't matter. In comes the lifestealer. The angry, big, bad zombie man is in the middle of this fight, or a ghoul, I suppose. He's a bit of a ghoul. One more auto attack. Enigma will fall. Doesn't have a blink. Turns around to Malefice and pays for his life. Blinking forward is the TA. He wants the puck. They want to really punish this overextension for first Esports. Now double damage is popped. Trying to get a TP. Frantically looking to escape. Probably should juke, orb into the trees, and then try to TP out, but there is that Blink Dagger, so he's not going to waste any time. He's going to try to get out of here now, and he will escape in the end. This game, we are starting to get the ping pong ball effect. We're starting to bounce back and forth a little bit too much. Ah, yes, the map color. Sorry, guys. Oh, yeah. Someday I'll get it right. If that's the biggest mistake I make as a caster with my overlays or my interface, color me pretty happy. But yeah, there's your mini-map colors fixed up for you. So Lifestealer has the Armlet of Mordigion. Now they're going to go into Roshan with the medallion, the early medallion on Vengeful Spirit, plus the minus armor from Hal, plus the damage from Commandara. All of these abilities just allow them to bring Roshan down so very quickly, and Meld as well. Refract bonus damage. Who do they give it to? It is the TA. This is an off-lane TA. I almost want to say a 3-position TA, but because she had such a good start, now she can sort of become not your primary carry, but she can be that secondary source of damage after the Lifestealer. That was like a list of 500 things you want me to do differently. Let's stick to one. Let's stick to the map color for now. I'm not the host. It's not my job to save this game.
The town is under siege.
The push continues. It's a bit of a trade. 4 heroes grouped up mid, 5 heroes pushing top. They don't really want to fight right now. If you're on first Esports, you got to get some items up. You got to get that Blink Dagger up on the puck. You got to get your initiation going, because as this game draws longer and longer, with a solo mid Rubik, it's very easy to steal Black Hole. It's very hard to prevent it. They've also got Swap. You can't count on the Black Hole. And if you can't count on the Black Hole, how do you deal with that Lifestealer while he's enraged? There's no way to do it whatsoever. Some people like the colors better, but I know the Chinese commentators always use the pink and the blue, so... in China, generally, they know best when it comes to Dota. At least as far as things like broadcasting go. So, we'll stick with that for now. But, on the bottom lane, E has the Blink Dagger picked up. Has had it for a little while, now goes back for the phase boots. 5 heroes on the Sentinel side, coming into the enemy jungle, scouting things out, trying to find an opening. It is going to be a Lothar's Edge from Dragonite. This is a very underleveled Dragonite. This is, I think, the biggest concern for First Esports. Their DK needs to hit level 16, and he's got to do so in a hurry. Otherwise, how do they kite the Lifestealer? You can't count a Black Hole for all the reasons I mentioned earlier, and if you can't count a Black Hole, the only thing left is those mini Frost Epicenters. That slow, that goes through Magic Community, that goes through BKB. I'm not saying it'll be enough, but it's pretty essential. It's sort of like the bare minimum to have a shot. Is there anything on the courier? Is there anything on the ground? Just a stout shield. Oh, he's got something. What are these items? Why can't I click on them? Ogre Axe?
Players' forces are under attack.
Oh, he's going for a Sanj. I don't know about this. I'm not a big fan of the Sanj on the Lifesteal. You're already very tanky. You've got that Aegis of the Immortal. You should just... You want to get a burst damage item. That's something like a Desolator. Something like a Crystallis. Even a Maelstrom, a Mjolnir can work. But going for this Sanj, if they actually are able to kill you, it's only because you get caught out and you die. And having a little extra HP isn't going to help you. You don't need to be able to chase because your team already has plenty of slows and stuns. So I don't agree with this Sanj. Maybe he'll go for the evasion. But even so, it's primarily magical damage through the Heaven's Halberd. But even so, it's primarily magical damage. So I feel like this just isn't the most optimal item. Still, he's so far ahead, maybe it'll work. In comes the courier. It's delivering the Sanj. This could be a dead courier. You got to be careful with that courier. Be careful with that courier. Sanj is delivered, but then the courier dies. And now the Aegis might fall twice. Will he even be able to get out of here? There is a net that goes through BKB. That's the one thing I did forget about on the side of First Esports. Oh, Lifestealer still trying to maul one at a time. Even with the Sanj, he will fall. I think even with evasion, he dies there. There's just no chance. Now they go onto the Naga Siren. Naga thrown up in the air, tossed back and dropping low. A couple more auto attacks will bring her down. That was an ill-fated TP, to say the least, to put it mildly, and now they think about going back in bottom lane. No Shadow Blade just yet, no Lothar's Edge just yet on this Dragonite. He will get Dragon Tail, then the Ice Path to discourage a chase. TA says, screw it, I'm going in. Team says, no you're not, we're running away. And they all back off at the end. I see we've had a lot of people join us over the course of this game. This is our third place, our bronze match for GEST IDC November. It's SVR.es, the upstarts from Cambodia, facing off against a brand new team to GEST, to really any major, international or Southeast Asian Dota competition. This is going to be their first GST, and they are fighting for that third place slot. Both of these teams already finished top 4. They lost to the Pinoy champs, or the top dogs. Emax, the 3-time defending champions, was able to take down SVR.es. On the other side of the bracket, it was Mineski who took down this Sentinel squad, who took down First Esports. So now we're in the first place, the third place decider. It's a best out of 1. It's single elimination, just 1 game. We're into the middle of this one. Then we go to the grand finals. Then we go to a best out of 3. Hopefully that'll kick off right after this game, or almost right after. So make sure you stay tuned. Don't just turn off the stream, because there will be more games coming up, and they should be absolute treats. Just the kings of Pinoy Dota right now in Dota 1, clashing head-to-head. The old school champs and sort of the new kings, if you want to call it that. Oh, Soul Catcher's going to miss. They kind of want that versus this Dragonite. Do they need it, though? An early rage and a disruption. Now the sleep comes out. Oh, they can focus Lifestealer while the rest of the team is slept. Never mind. No, they can't, because the rage will wear off. Now he wants to go on the Naga Siren. And no rage for the moment. Where's that black hole? Enigma can't get it off. He will get a long-range black hole, but it's not sufficient. Lifestealer gets swapped away. Armlet toggles. Now Infest jumps back out, jumps back in again. Is just dodging all over the place. They still can't kill the damn Lifestealer. This is going to be 4 heroes dead. The last one just has to run away, but he's actually thinking about coming back in. It's the Puck. Was he even there during the fight? I felt like he wasn't. If he was, he didn't do much. Now the silence coming out from TA. That will disable the meld crit, but you can still manually trigger those traps by clicking on them, and they will find another kill. It's a team wipe. SVR.es steamrolling their way now through this First Esports squad, overwhelming their defenses. It is time for a save. I completely agree there. Oh, man. That was a pretty sick armlet toggle. That was a pretty sick infest. I am rather impressed by this Lifestealer's play. Nat Camp showing off some good stuff.
player's forces are under attack.
Naga TP's top. Naga so desperately underfarmed, and not really a natural carry. She has some carry potential because of the illusions mainly, and she's very survivable. But Naga normally out-carries other heroes by out-farming them, not by trying to go head-to-head with the same inventory, and especially not when you have a Vengeful Spirit on the enemy team, who provides you tons of minus armor, as well as some plus damage from the Commander. That makes all your carries stronger. And TA with the side blades can quickly splash through those illusions if they're not positioned properly. And it's just really hard to micro them in a fight. Lifestealer going man mode against a massive Ancient stack. But he actually can do this. He's just got to be careful. Maybe should armlet toggle momentarily. He may just actually go back and heal. I guess it might be Sanjay Yasha for him. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, the action breaks out. It looks like Rubik is overextended. Oy, oy, oy. This is not what they want. They don't want to get caught out like this. All they need to do is sit back, farm, get their next items, but giving up a ton of 3 kills. In fact, 3. Count them, 3 kills in exchange for a twin-headed dragon. That is what you call a very bad trade. And good news for SVR.es, they do have probably a Desolator coming out for the TA soon. That's going to give them even more minus armor to deal with that Dragon Knight. Also to make the next Roshan super, super smooth, super, super easy. Sanjay Yasha picked up on Lifestealer. He just wants to be able to chase. He wants that extra move speed. It's a cost-effective item. It's just not one you normally go for now. When you get a Sanjay Yasha, you don't get it with the gold after 6-7k worth of items. You get it as your first big item because it's easy to build, and it's pretty. Each component is pretty cost-effective along the way. But for raw sort of value for late game DPS, you're much better off getting something else, something like a Basher, something like a Daedalus, or a Bariza, as it's called in Dota 1. We'll see. It is a Sanjay Yasha. You can break it up. You can make a Manta style and a Heaven's Halberd. And against this first esports squad, it would be okay. You can remove the silence with Manta, so you have a backup plan in case you're not able to rage. The silence, of course, coming from the puck. You can remove Malefice. You can, I think in Dota 1, you can actually Manta out of Naga's net, so maybe that's the plan. If that's the idea, that's really smart. I know in Dota 2, you can't Manta out of net. You'll still be held in place by Ensnare. But I know in Dota 1 you used to be able to. I don't know if that's been changed. But you definitely used to be able to use Manta to escape from Ensnare in Dota 1. And if that's the case, Manta suddenly becomes a great item on the Lifestealer. The Sanj still feels a little odd, but in that case it would make a bit more sense. So far, so good for SVR.es, but they have to get over the hump. They are still trying to go high ground against the team with now a BKB Enigma. The only way to cancel that black hole will be if either the swap or if Rubik steals it. And until the swap's level 11, you really can't count on that. So it's all about the Rubik's positioning this game if they try to go high ground. This may turn into a farm war, and you can see SVR.es has the better spread. They have heroes in pretty much every camp around the map, farming every single lane and all of the camps in their jungle. Just being very efficient, but also spreading out, which means on the Sentinel side, if they want to go for a smoke gank, they could find a couple of kills and possibly just roll up this SVR.es squad. Will they be so bold as to take that risk? We'll see. TA has gone for the Desolator, has gone for a great mid-game damage item, a ton of minus armor. Let's see if she can use it. You gotta actually find heroes to kill to really make use of this item. Otherwise, you're better off going for the Mushi build. The ultra late game. Manta style. Daedalus. Maybe back for an MKB if they have evasion. Maybe, you know, something else like a butterfly otherwise, just to give you some evasion. Here's the smoke, the first esports we're going to be looking for. They know this next Roshan is respawning soon. Blinking away. There's the TA. Buying some time for a team. Lifestealer is going to start on the Rosh. Definitely can't do it alone. You cannot feast Rosh. You don't get that Lifestealer. It comes to the Soul Catcher. The orb flies out. There's no Blink Dagger and Puck yet, I don't think. Nope, still no Blake. There's a BKB on Enigma, but if they can catch him out of position, they can force him to BKB. Look how fast he's dying. Now the net comes through. Maybe Lifestealer's in trouble. He's almost killing everyone during this, but now the black hole is here. And the ice pad on the back lines of play. They need to steal the black hole. Not able to steal it. They're all dropping low, but Lifestealer somehow still alive. Still friggin' alive. Finally he drops, but a triple kill claimed along the way. Cannot believe the amount of damage he's throwing out. Now the Shadow Blade from DK trying to get away here. It was a buyback from the Lifestealer. After that triple, he wants the Rosh. Sorry, that was the triple from the TA, not from the Lifestealer. But nonetheless, they're going to go into Rosh now. Look to clean that up. It should drop very, very quickly. 8-4-9 on the TA. Lifestealer just turning into the frontline tank for the squad. And that's a mistake. You can't black hole just the Lifestealer. They have multiple carries. This is that dual core lineup that we talked about. You wouldn't think that the offlane TA can be a carry, but she can when you have this kind of a start. So you got to black hole both of them. It's not enough to black hole one. You can't ensnare both, so you really have to make sure that black hole lands beautifully. You got to credit SVR.es. The way they played that was perfect. Lifestealer charges in, pops the rage, open wounds the Enigma. So sure, he can BKB. He's not going to die. But at the same time, he's already dropped so low, and he's slowed enough that even if he tries to walk in for a black hole, it gives your team time to react. You force out a bad black hole, and then the fight's pretty much yours for the taking.
Players' forces are under attack.
Well, this should make it a lot easier to steal that black hole. Yule Scepter and a Blink Dagger. I think he's had both of these for a bit of a while now. Lifestealer with the Aegis of the Immortal. He'll be the frontline initiator. Also has that Hyperstone picked up. Is really winning when it comes to farm, I'm pretty sure. 129 CS. Yep, out farming even the enemy Naga and the enemy Dragon Knight. It's only 60 CS in 27 minutes. That's just a symptom of first esports. 5 man ain't too much, or being forced to, but they will maybe find Templar Assassin here. Maybe. Who am I kidding? She dies in seconds. That was a more efficient smoke gank. If you're going to push as aggressively as SVR.es is, the enemy doesn't have to run very far to smoke gank you, so they don't waste a lot of time on that smoke. That only took maybe a total of a minute of the entire team's collective time, which is nothing. That's 12 seconds per player. Here comes... Uh-oh. Here comes 2 auto attacks from the Lifestealer after, I think, a single meld. And the Jakiro dies. Will buy back immediately. They know they need their whole lineup to try and take this fight. Still no items on the Naga. Just a poor man's shield. As well as a Vanguard. And that just means they don't have any damage. Shadowblade DK, or Lothar's Edge DK, that is not damage. That's an initiation item. That can be a little additional plus damage. It's just not going to be enough right now. You need big items. You need a Bariza on your DK. You need a Diffusal Blade on your Naga. Something big. Something that will really chew through these tanky frontline heroes like the Lifestealer especially, and to a lesser extent the TA with the Refraction. Gem still up on the Rubik. They're still waiting for their moment to pounce here. If they can catch out the Enigma, it might be a decent way to start the fight. Sure, he's got Black Hole, but that's where your swap comes in. You can jump in with one hero and then immediately cancel that black hole. Fighting under the tower is a bit dangerous. Another smoke. This is 3 in a space of only a few minutes. Naga's going to immediately sleep to start this one off. Here comes the 4-man sleep. Did he catch everyone? I think he did. I think that's actually 5 heroes. The black hole is going to land. Massive team fight breaks out of the Macro Pyre. They're all melting. The black hole was stolen by the Rubik and the backlines. He jumps in. He will turn the fight around a little bit. Maybe not enough, though. 3 heroes dead on the dire side. Now the Lifestealer being focused down. Chain stun. Brought down. Has the Aegis. Will come back to life. DK trying to chase down this TA. TA and Night Lifestealer need to be focusing together. Gets netted up. Needs to break up that Sanjias. No, he doesn't, because he infests and then pops back out again. What a sick play from this Lifestealer. Snack Cam wants a little tasty treat. He's hungry. Can he find any more kills? Now the open wounds on the DK. There's your stun to answer back. Running away is going to be this DK. That was the perfect team fight. Absolutely perfect from the Sentinel. Here's the problem. Now Black Hole's on cooldown. Now they go in on the DK. He will be bashed down. He will be brought down very, very quickly. Dragon Tail actually not bashed, but the Dragon Tail stolen by Rubik, then used against him. They do net Lifestealer up in a bad position once again. I think if you're this team, if you're SVR.es, this is the time to go. You don't want to deal with that late game Naga sleep. You don't want to deal with another black hole. Just wait for everyone to come back and then fight, but this won't help. Rubik gets caught. Rubik probably going to die. Maybe not. Here comes the Lifestealer. Right-clicking away. Chop, chop, chop. Smack, smack, smack. Down goes the Enigma. Now thinking about the Naga. But here come the illusions. Who do you focus? Which one do you focus first? They're not sure. They will back off. The mech is up on Vengeful Spirit. Now gets netted. Swapped. Actually, Naga's just getting thrown into the middle of this fight. Macro Pyre's here. Lifestealer doesn't care about that Macro Pyre, though. He's raged. He's mangry. He is really tired of how these fights have been going. He wants a snack. Oh, forget Knack Cam. He's the snack cam, because this guy is just finding some food wherever he goes. Disruption used defensively there. And now you can armlet toggle if you're really quick, which he is. He pulls off the armlet toggle in the middle of that fight, then able to escape back out of it. Still, miraculously, first esports, they hang on to their Rex. They hang on to the racks. And I hang on to my voice. We're all hanging on here in this game.
A player's forces are under attack.
Lifestealer up to another 5k. TA up to 2.5k. No real big items on the Sentinel side that I can see. It is a good time to do a thorough item check. There's a Ghost Scepter on Puck. Has the Blink, has the Ghost Scepter. Nothing on Enigma, just the BKB. A lot of heroes were forced to buy back. And I think with one more damage item, all you need to do is make sure that you either have buyback or you have an Aegis. So even if Lifestealer dies once to the black hole, he's not dying twice. And then you come back with your MKB, your Bariza, I keep on wanting to say Daedalus, or whatever it might be, and then you just go win the game. It looks like Assault Cuirass will be the choice, and that's coming out real soon. Heart of Tarask. Interesting. Has the Hyperstone. Just wants more raw HP. Maybe we'll see him... I guess he's going to sell his Midas, or maybe I'll give the gem to the Rubik. That's probably what we'll see. No TP scroll, though. We'll see if that becomes an issue at any point. But yeah, it should be a completed Heart of Tarask. There's your Reaver. Just needs to get that Vitality booster, and he is getting real close. So with a Heart of Tarask, he is going to be an absolute beefcake. And the nice thing about Heart, when you have Armlet already, is you can just leave your Armlet toggled on all the time, unless you get really low and you want to go for some Armlet toggle shenanigans. But it's pretty damn easy, because your base regen with a Heart of Tarask will outweigh the amount of strength you lose from the degen effect of having an Armlet active. So it just makes life a little bit easier. You don't have to worry about turning the Armlet on at the right time. You only have to decide if you need to toggle if you're about to die. And this is just gonna... It does give him a decent amount of damage. It's not really a damage item, though. This is just a tank item. He just wants to jump in first, soak up all the big abilities, all the big spells, and then set up his Rubik, set up his TA to do some big damage and some big counter-initiation type stuff. The Heart is complete. You can see his HP, almost 4k HP. That is one filthy rich lifestealer and one very tanky beast of a man. They need to bring him down with physical damage, but how do you bring down that which has 4,000 HP and 18 armor? It's a trick question. You don't bring this down. You just maybe kill him once and then die to all the other heroes because you just blew everything on him. We'll see if they can pull it off, but they got to go soon. The net gets thrown on a lifestealer, but he's already in range of the tower, so it will be dropping very quickly. The net's going to wear off. The ensnare is going to wear off. Now here comes the sleep, but it catches... Oh, actually might be a good sleep because it catches all the supports in an isolated position. DK, Black Hole is coming out. DK trying to do the splash damage, but gets stunned. Was there something stolen by Rubik? I think he stole the Black Hole again. Yes, he did. The Star with an even better Black Hole turns this fight around. Lifestealer trying to do what he can, I think. Dragon Knight is able to run away. Lifestealer, yep, he is trying to do what he can, which is to say, just kill everyone. Kill that Puck. Kill that Dragon Knight. He wants all these kills. No, Puck blinks away. DK with a nice, well-timed stun. They need to just go end this game now. They don't want to deal with another Black Hole. They should be able to. It will be SVR.es just crushing through that team fight on the back of a star-studded Rubik performance. The Star living up to his name here today. What a play that was. I think he's stolen Black Hole every single team fight. So hard to see what's going on in these engagements, but he has somehow managed to come away with the Black Hole when it's all said and done. SVR looking pretty nasty here. I'm more familiar with the Riki Wisp combo. Haven't seen it in this event, but the Lifestealer is a fearsome foe, and they definitely know how to use him too. And they go onto that Rax. It will drop rather quickly. This is going to be 2 lanes of Rax, and if they lose 2 lanes of Rax, that is the game for First Esports. It's also going to be Lifestealer sitting on another pile of gold, another 3k. Soon comes the Assault Cuirass, and he goes onto DK. Look at the damage, even with just 1 maim, just chopping, mauling away. This guy is like a hammer machine. Oh man, TA, more of your burst damage dealer. She finds that kill. I feel like I'm watching a nail gun just go to work on a flimsy cardboard wall. It's, you know, it's overkill. It's just brutal. Brutal to watch. Snack cam, nat cam. He's having a good time here today. SVR.es looking pretty much... I don't see any hope of a comeback at this point. This will be SVR.es just calmly and smoothly moving in to the 3rd place position. They're going to be your bronze match champions. They are going to be your 3rd place team for this edition of the GEST IDC November. And boy, have they earned it. This was a very convincing performance. Not many teams would feel comfortable giving away a Naga Siren, giving away an Enigma, not really having a great answer for Puck in the landing stage. giving away a massive team fight and having to deal with the Dragon Knight mid, running an offlane Templar Assassin, but SVR.es made it work because they just executed better in these fights. They made the better micro decisions. And moment to moment, minute to minute, they were just executing better in team fights, focusing heroes correctly, stealing the right spells in the case of the Rubik, dewarding. In fact, well, speak of dewarding, look at this just network of traps and wards all over the enemy base. Impossible to leave. In fact, this is the Great Wall of Wards, the Great Wall of Traps. China doesn't have the only Great Wall anymore. Cambodia's got one of their own, and that Great Wall, it starts with the Nat Cam.
A player's forces are under attack.
Here we go, 5 heroes grouped up top. This should be the death push. This should be the end of the road for the tie upstarts. I think I've been using that word too much today, but this should be the end of the road for the Thailand's pride. That would be First Esports. Their first ever GST. Still an amazing performance from them, even if they finish 4th, which it looks to be the case at this point. 4th place, no shame in that. Here comes the sleep. This will be the last hurrah for First Esports. It's not really the perfect sleep. The black hole will be channeled. Only catches 2, doesn't catch the Rubik again, and black hole is now stolen, and it will be used against them. Oh, again and again, he steals the black hole. That one, there's no excuse for. That one, you definitely could have caught Rubik in. I don't know if it matters, but definitely could have there. Had plenty of time to do it. Either way, Rubik steals the black hole. That's all she wrote. There is no fight left in these dogs. First Esports are about to plummet into, well, I say plummet. They're about to plop into 4th place after a pretty nice performance all day long. There's your magic missile. There's your fountain snipe.
Player's forces are under attack.
But give it up for the Thailand pride. Give it up for First Esports. They played a hell of a tournament. First ever GEST IDC. Had to go through it the hard way. Had to go through the qualifiers, and they will still be your 4th place team. That is rather impressive stuff. There were a lot of big names in this event. Let's actually look at the bracket real quickly and see all the teams that SVR.es, as well as this squad, had to play through on their way here. For SVR.es, first was G7, beating Pacific Polite, but then SVR.es beat them. Then they barely lost. Well, I say barely. It was a real close game versus Emacs. And then they take out First Esports. On the First Esports side, they had, I would almost say, a tougher road to get here. They had to play Encyclopedia in the first round, a decent team from Indonesia, but then the real hard match. They beat Dreams. They beat Jules. They beat Dreams. I see Jules in the chat, but, well, these guys had the answers for Jules today, and they're looking pretty good in the GST. I hope to see more of them in future events. An impressive performance overall. SVR.es, they are your 3rd place team. They are going to be your bronze champions here today. But don't go anywhere, guys, because the real show is about to kick off. It's the grand finals. It is going to be Pacific Emacs against Mineski, the 3-time former champions of GEST. Really the most consistent Pinoy team in Dota 1 over the past year. Mineski, a team that in the past has been the best, and indisputably, they're the old kings. Will they be the once and future kings? We're going to find out about that soon. They are looking revitalized. They are looking pretty sharp. That best out of 3, your grand finals to crown a new champion for GEST IDC November. It's coming up soon. Stay tuned for that. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed my casting, I'm LD. Make sure to like my Facebook page, facebook.com/ldDOTA. Of course, twitter.com/ldDOTA. You can follow me there too. More importantly, if you missed any of today's matches, every game I cast will be uploaded within the next day or two to youtube.com/you guessed it, ldDOTA. youtube.com/ldDOTA for all the VODs. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We have one more match to go. This GST IDC November is about to wrap up, but before it does, we have an epic best out of 3. Emacs versus Mineski coming your way in a few moments' time.